Ladies and gentlemen, tonight for our guest of on the HTrain show, we have Stephanie Lincoln with Fire Team Whiskey. Steph, so talk us through. From what I understand, the first picture I saw of you, you were wearing a black hat and you were yelling at people. So tell me what it is how'd you get that ball rolling?
Yeah, I was enlisted for 5 years, and I went to OCS and became a commissioned officer in the Army. And then I got invited back to the OCS schoolhouse because they needed female cadre, and became a TAC officer. So what most people think of as a drill instructor, so an officer version of that. So I did basically a lot of yelling and screaming, and it was like the best job on the planet.
It's what I do here, so I'm a huge fan. I totally get it. Totally.
It's very cathartic, right?
Yes. I have no stress when I leave here, but everybody else is shaking and crying, so it's awesome. I love it.
Exactly.
H is like, what are you talking about, dude?
No, I'm just.
Oh, somebody leaned on a button.
Well, I'm just having a hard time with the sound.
So, Steph, tell us about Fire Team Whiskey. How was it born? How did it come about?
Yeah, so I actually worked in military mental health after I got out of the Army for about 10 years, running multi-million-dollar contracts for behavioral health services embedded within the military unit. So I did that for a while. And of course, just like every government job you'll ever have, you'll get laid off, which I did. And I kind of was at that moment of like, what do I do next? You know, this is what I've dedicated my life to. I was in the Army for 10 years. I spent 10 years running military mental health contracts. And I was super into fitness. I'm an endurance racer. I was on the Army National Guard endurance racing team. And I noticed over time that at these medical events that I would go to, that our troops seemed to be kind of getting more and more unhealthy and fatter and kind of overweight. And they weren't addressing it at all. I mean, it was just like, hey, oh, you got knee pain. Here, take some ibuprofen. Oh, you got high blood pressure. Here's a pill for that. And nobody was addressing, the fact that they were 60 pounds overweight and they hadn't passed their PT test since they came back from AIT. So, I wanted to create a package where you could get, a military fitness trainer, get some coaching, get some nutrition, and kind of put together that wellness package and address all the kind of behavioral health stuff too that gets in our way, how we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot in order to, meet those health and fitness goals. Everybody knows what to do. It's not rocket science, but it's the way we get in our way. Those are the kind of the behavioral health techniques that we help our Fire Team member with.
Do you find that if you help people with their physical fitness, that changes their approach to mental health?
Oh, yeah, 100 times over. I mean, we've had so many participants. Even if we didn't address it right off the bat, of course, I'm a licensed mental health professional. So I know, if I'm working with somebody, maybe they have some issues, but, I don't address it unless they kind of bring it to the table. And they'll come back, after months of her and say, hey, you know what? I just wanted to let you know, yeah, I lost 40, 50 pounds, but man, I didn't tell you. I've been suffering from PTSD. I have nightmares and depression, anxiety. And like a lot of those symptoms have started to go away. And I'm having to talk to my doctor about, starting to titrate off my medications. I'm just feeling better and feeling happier. So it all ties in together.
And these are active duty service members that you're talking about?
Both. I mean, we deal with reservists, veterans, and active duty. So all of our military fitness trainers are all veterans or actually currently still in the uniform, acting as online personal trainers for our program.
Oh, really? So your other coaches are active duty military. That's awesome.
Yeah, we have law enforcement, we have corrections officers, and we have military veterans and current military members.
Is this only in Florida?
That's the beauty of Fire Team Whiskey. When I created it, I wanted everybody everywhere to be able to do our program. We've had sailors do it on their carriers out in the middle of the oceans. We've had soldiers do our programs in Iraq and in Afghanistan and Africa. So all of our programs are online. We have an app, Fire Team Whiskey app, and you can directly one-on-one with your military fitness or law enforcement fitness trainer through our Fire Whiskey app.
And so have you found that people, start with the program and then are able to, surpass their goals and able to get through a physical fitness test and able to, make height weight. So as you may or may not have noticed, I mean, I realize I'm a physical specimen now, but when I was, the heck are you laughing about? When I was active duty, the Army height weight was a challenge for me. I've been taped since the day I set foot in the Army, so I know the pain and suffering that a lot of those soldiers go through. Are you finding that people are having success with this and are making it through height weight and are making it through the physical fitness test?
Yeah, and what's really crazy is what we get a lot of is people who are trying to get in the military. And I don't know if you know this, but 1 out of 3 of Americans of recruitable age don't even meet the fitness requirements because they're too overweight. I mean, that's like the number one thing that's keeping them from joining the military. So, and then the obesity rates within our military ranks, the people who are actually wearing uniform, have increased by 73% since 2011. So this isn't just, about, I agree, like the standards are kind of antique. They really should go to like the bod pods or the more updated way of measuring body fat, because the way they do it now is not very technical and it's actually not even, there's a human error involved in it. But the issue is a cultural issue with just the way that Americans in general, don't take care of their health and fitness.
I read an article last week as you and I were building up to this interview that talked about one general talked about how like something like 1 in 7 of our nation's youth, like I believe you highlighted a similar statistic, is too overweight to join the United States military, and that is directly now leading to the potential for a national security crisis because we just can't find the people that can serve in the military.
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy because I do this every single day and I've been doing this for 5 years. I can't believe that this isn't like on every headline when you turn on the news. Like, I can't believe that nobody knows about this crisis going. So that's why I go on show with you guys, is get the word out. Like, this isn't just about losing a few pounds and being overweight. This is a national security crisis. People don't understand. We do not have the healthy American young bodies to replace the older and the ones leaving the military, whether it be by they're done with their careers or they're medically put out or they can't meet the standards anymore physically. We don't have enough bodies to replace people who are leaving. And we can't outsource this, just like everything else we're doing in America. So what do we do? We're going to have a huge military rank because we're sick and fat as a nation to actually provide our own fit, healthy bodies to provide our own national security.
I work as a paramedic in a local Department of Veterans Affairs, ER, and I see the direct results of my peers being the Iraqi freedom generation, the enduring freedom generation. As we're exiting the military, we are not taking care of ourselves in any way, and it's leading to, we're seeing a rise in things like type 2 diabetes and things like that. And service members who are way too young, you made fitness a career when you were in the military. Now that you've exited the military, that's no longer a thing, and now you're not taking care of yourself, and it's having catastrophic consequences.
Yeah, which is why I was so passionate about making sure that our fire team whiskey trainers have actually worn the uniform, right? Because I know, we know the deal, right? We tend to take advice from people who have been there and done that. So it's not just beautiful, like Instagram, beautiful fitness trainers that that are all photoshopped and look perfect, right? These are actually people who have been in the military, been in law enforcement, or even currently still doing it, and are able to, meet the health and fitness standards, experts in this area, and can show you how to make the changes in your day-to-day life. And most of it is actually, inside, if you can't see me, in my brain. So you have to make the mental changes in order to have the physical changes that you make with our program become permanent. Because you know what? I'm not interested in throwing a bunch of money at joining our program and the results not being permanent. We're interested in teaching you the day-to-day kind of behavior changes to make this permanent. And I'm so proud of our program because people have done our program work. They have added some weight, and just because we're not interested in doing that. So we're equipping you with to make a permanent change in your life.
If you had one recommendation for a service member who's currently exiting the military as a way to maintain their physical fitness, someone's just retiring, someone hit their 4 years, they're done, they're getting ready to ETS, they're starting their job as a civilian. If you had one piece of advice for that person that's exiting the military, what would it be?
Get on something that's sustainable and realistic for your new life. Because what I think a lot of people do when they come out of the military is they have an idea of fitness. It's like, okay, every day at 5:30, you've got to go out and you got to go for a 4-mile run. And that's not sustainable for most people as you exit the military. You've got work, you've got life, you've got families, you've got stuff going on. So don't put yourself on a program that your life can't support. And that's why we create fitness programs. I mean, our low as 5 minutes, 5 to 30 minutes. And he has 5 to 30 minutes in their day. So we're equipping you again with things that are actually realistic for a life, and choose things like that. Don't go to extremes because you're not going to be able to sustain that long term. Choose a program, stay steady, stay consistent, and choose something that's sustainable for you long term. I can do this every day for the next 5 years. If you can say I can do this, then that's the program for you. But, being unrealistic and saying, oh, I'm going to do 10-mile runs every other day, you're not going to have time for that, next week, next month, or when the next baby comes.
Do you talk to these service members and these veterans? Do you talk to them about nutrition?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, that's 90% of what we do is you have to work on what's going on in your mouth. I don't care. I actually even say when people join our program, I don't care if you do one Fire Team Whiskey workout. I don't even care. Don't do our workouts, but you have to do our eating plans and you have to do our Warrior Wellness program, because those are the things that are going to set you up for success and make the biggest impact on you, especially in the first, 30, 60, 90 days. And not only are you going to see the results, but you're going to feel the results in just your mental health, your energy levels, your sleep patterns. Everything is going to improve. So I don't care whether or not your biceps get a little bit bigger. I do care about what's going in your inside your body, because that's going to culminate and show in every area of your life.
So you're not recommending cherry Coke and Marlboros as a steady part of the diet?
Correct. That's the number one thing we start working on is we get rid of all processed foods.
Don't come at me with that cigarette stuff. You burn cigars just as much as I do.
Cigars are healthy. That's why I smoke them. Yeah. They're good for you. Jeez, dude. Gosh.
And actually, that's a good point, guys. So not interested in telling you no. Like that's not going to work. That never works. If you're hiring one of our trainers, I'm not going to give you a list of you can't. What we focus on is just what can you do? What are you willing to do? What are you willing to change right now? And then work on, reducing some of those things out of your life in the long term. But I'm just interested in what can you do today? So that's just a better behavioral technique, instead of me just coming in and saying, you got to give this up. You got to stop doing that. It's just, you're going to find a way to get around that. You're going to find excuses as to, it's that authority, and you're just always going to rebel against it.
Rebel against it. Like cutting down to a half a pack a day and drinking. Where's your water bottle, Joel?
Oh, gosh.
Feel like a nagging
really
wife?
Hold your water.
Hey, guess what time it is?
Do you know which button to push now? All right, Steph, so you're going to hear some stuff right now in just a second. Let it play. You're going to love this. Go ahead, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah, go with that.
Today's Time to Shine is brought to you by Law offices of Diane Sawaya. Smart, aggressive, compassionate. It's more than a slogan, it's our mission.
It's the time to shine, baby. It's the time to shine. And like I tell people every week, yes, that was me singing, Steph. So I know you're very impressed. I have a dance move that goes with it as well, so it's pretty impressive.
Wow.
I know.
I missed that. Do it again. I want to see that.
You know what? We'll show you off air. No big deal. So
right.
This is your time to shine. For the next 2 minutes, we may have skipped over a question. We may have glossed over a point. We may have talked too much about Joel smoking and his copes, whatever the case may be. This is your time to shine. We're not talking about his habits right now. This is your time. Take the next 2 minutes to talk about. We may have skipped over something. Talk about whatever you want related to Fireteam Whiskey, the obesity epidemic amongst our troops and our veterans. Whatever you want for the next 2 minutes. The floor is absolutely all yours.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, this isn't about just, looking good in a bathing suit or a beer. This is about life, and I understand that it's difficult in any circumstance. Things happen. You maybe let go of yourself. You're in a place maybe we're not feeling that great about the way you look, the way you feel. But the number one thing that's most important to remember is that if you woke up breathing today, there's still time. Now that may change, but there's still time. So that means every day that you wake up breathing gives you another chance to start today. And that's what I always say. Start today. None of this BS about next month, next year, maybe Saturday, maybe I'm going to start Monday. Do it now. There's something you can do right now to take that little baby step to, being there when your youngest daughter gets married, or, not having your limbs cut off, gradually as you age and get older because you've had type 2 diabetes.
I think we might have lost her.
I don't think we did. No, I think she's still there. I think it's just a poor connection. That's okay. You still there, Steph? Did we lose you?
It's hard to think about that stuff.
Steph, I apologize. We have a really poor connection. Gotta love Zoom. We on the right. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, long story short, we've just got a poor connection. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to us talk to Stephanie Lincoln. She's the owner of Fireteam Whiskey. She has offered a couple of discounts and specials for our listeners. If you're interested in, whoa, apparently she's got an attack dog. Who doesn't like the radio? There it is. Please, by all means, go to Fireteam Whiskey. Follow them on all social media platforms, on Facebook and Instagram at Fireteam Whiskey. If you'd like to get more information, and she's happy to work with you, please, by all means, reach out to Fireteam Whiskey. We'd like to really thank Stephanie Lincoln for coming on the show this afternoon.